The two next things I'll show you are some mudras that also have this kind of relationship to just opening awareness into certain parts of the body. Remember that the mudras are always like tuning to a radio station. You're using your hands to tune to your own energy system. So just like you use a dial to turn to a radio to get a certain type of music to come out, the way that we do the mudras with the hands tunes us to a specific part of the body typically. Okay, so it's like our own frequencies. The first one is called Matsya, and Matsya is the word for fish, and you're going to create kind of a fish shape with your hands, but it's to help deal with fluidity and movement in joints. So if you're having any joint issues, it's going to be a helpful one to kind of create, all the joints are filled with fluid, so it's the idea of like making sure that there's fluid in the joints and that there's some mobility in the joints. So if you bring both of your hands palm down with the thumbs kind of hooked out like an L, and then I'm going to bring my right hand over top of my left hand, and this is where the little fish shape comes in. Let the hands rest wherever they're comfortable in front of your body. Your elbows can bend back a little bit, and it can be up high towards your solar plexus, but relax the arms, relax, or it can be down low, whatever feels better for you. And then just, again, let the eyes close. And actually, Cheryl has a really good idea. She's got her hands on blocks, so if it's awkward to hold your hands up, Yeah. That can be helpful if you don't want to hold your hands up. What she's doing is to take, she's got her blocks here, and she's just resting. And closing the eyes again, and we're just going to go through a real gentle and simple awareness of the joints in the body. So be comfortable in your seated pose. If you can't, if you're feeling like your legs are uncomfortable, you can always change the way that the legs are to have them cross the other direction or have them out, or whatever you need to do. And we're going to start out with awareness of the feet. So even if the legs are crossed, still have some just general awareness of the right and the left feet, beginning especially with the right and the left toes. So there's multiple joints in each toe. And you might even want to wiggle the toes just so that you can feel those joints moving a little bit under the calves. And being aware of, you don't have to know exactly where each joint is, but just be aware of the joints that are in the toes, that there are joints in the toes. There's a row of joints that link the toe into the foot. We call that the ball of the foot. So being aware of the balls of your feet. And as we are aware of each one of these joints in turn, just imagine space and fluidity within each joint, even though it isn't moving. Just having that intention. Coming up into the ankles. Actually, quite a complicated joint, the ankles. Lots of different bones there. Feeling the joints of the knees, especially feeling sort of the back of the knee, very open, a lot of space there. Being aware of the joints of the hips. Feeling the joints at the back of the pelvis. You have two joints that the sacrum, that triangular shaped bone at the base of the spine, connects to the bones of your pelvis. They're called the SI or sacroiliac joint. So being aware kind of on the two right and left calves of the back pocket area, just feeling some softness there. And moving up the spine to the joints that make up the lumbar, the low back. And the middle back, the joints that are making up the vertebrae where the ribs attach. All the discs between those vertebrae, as well as the connection from the rib to the vertebrae on the sides. Feeling the joints of the neck, all of the cervical spinal vertebrae there. Being aware of the joint between the skull and the top of the neck. And the right and left jaw. Coming down to the shoulders. So feel where the arms connect into the body. Another complicated joint with many bones. Having some awareness of your elbows. Feeling into both of your wrists. Feeling into the thumbs, where the thumb connects to the palm and the other joints of the thumb. Feeling the balls of the hands, like the balls of the feet. This is where the fingers connect into the palms of the hands. And all the joints in the knuckles of the fingers. And then take a big breath in and a relaxed breath out. And be aware of all of your joints, all of them in the body, just a diffuse awareness. And then let's separate those hands and just let the hands rest palms down on the knees.